Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So this week in the Hollow, we're going to be setting up my new reading journal for 2024. So this is the one that I chose this year. It's all about the color this year. It has this cute little symbol on the front, but that's not really why I bought it. I bought it mainly for this color. I love this color. It's the same size as last year. It's the same kind. It's a Yop & Tom. It's an A5. There's the cute little symbol on the front with the hand and the little magic wand. It has 160 GSM heavy paper, and it is dot grid, so it's identical to last year's other than this gorgeous, gorgeous color. It has the pocket in the back, and it also has the grid spacing sheet that comes with it, which I hardly ever use. I don't know why I'm so bad about counting it. This one also has 2 bookmarks instead of the 1. So it's really, really pretty. And again, I chose it just for the color. I didn't really care what was on the front, but I decided since it did have that symbol on the front, I would try and do like a little, maybe a theme this year. So I wanted to do an apothecary theme. So I bought a sticker book that was all about apothecary, and actually the sticker book itself is absolutely beautiful. So you'll see some stickers in here that maybe don't necessarily pertain to reading, and that's because they're going with this whole apothecary theme that I decided to use. So the stickers are absolutely gorgeous. Here's my title page and my opening page from the book, and they do kind of match up. Whatever doesn't match up, like I said, it was just all part of the theme, but I just thought it was pretty. So on my title page, I decided that this year I was going to do a library card. I thought that look was very cute, so I created the pocket and I created the card that goes inside of it, and I decided to use that as my title this year. I will show you that up close in just a second. I'm voicing over, so it may be just a little bit off from what I did when I was showing the video. So here's the card. It has my title, my name, and the dates on it. And I did that instead of, I did date issued and date returned, but it starts January the 1st and it will end December 31st. I like to keep my journals as 1 year per journal. I don't like to go ahead and add different years within the same journal, and it works out pretty good that way. So here's my second page with the year date. Some pretty stickers, and this year I decided to do a key. I didn't do a key last year, not really, but this year I decided to do a key by genre, because last year on my bookshelf I would do colors based on just what colors I thought were pretty. This year I'm going to do it based on genre, so you can see all the genres that I have listed plus tomes. And I did tomes in gold so that no matter what genre it is, I could still put that color and then outline it in gold if it was a tome. I also decided to use a new rating system this year. I know the one that's really popular is called, is it the acronym, I guess is what it's called, is CAWPILE, but that sounds a lot like cowpile to me, which is really weird. So I switched mine up to, I guess you would call it CAPLWE. So you can see all the different things there that go into looking at the story and giving it a rating. So you look at characters, you look at the atmosphere or the setting, you look at plot, you look at intrigue or interest. I said interest because intrigue makes me think of mysteries. Logic, was it logical and followed along well? Was the writing good? And what was the enjoyment level for me? And you can actually do this by number. You can grade it 1 through 10 on each of those and then divide it out and come up with a number that will go with your star rating. And you can see my star ratings 1 through 5. I don't do halves. 5 was excellent. I would definitely recommend it to a friend. 4, it was very good. I would recommend it. 3, it was okay. I'd still recommend it. 2, it was okay, but I probably wouldn't tell somebody else to use their time to read it. And then 1, I don't really give 1, so if it was a 1, I probably already DNF'd it. And on my next page, I have my index, and I've already started that based on my setup. And I usually set it up with all my series together and all my challenges together. I got a little off on that this year, and you'll understand what I'm talking about as we go through. I don't really like the way that I did it, but it's already done now, so it is what it is. So my first page is my bookish goals. I decided to do goals this year, and I did 3 that I set that I thought were very reasonable and attainable. So the first one is I'm going to read every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. The second goal is that I'm going to try and read faster. I have a habit of reading very slowly. I like to take things in. I like to reread. I like to even picture it in my mind with characters and what their voices sound like. But there's too many books and life's too short, so I've got to read faster so that I can read more. And then my third reading goal, which I have this goal every year, but I'm so bad about doing it, is I really want to read a classic. And I know I say that all the time and then I never do. So I put it as a goal. Here's my bookshelf for this year. This is one of my favorite spreads always in the reading journal. Even though last year was the first year I kept a reading journal, I always had a bookshelf in my Happy Planner. And I usually draw them out, and I did that last year, but this year I used stamps and stickers from the Apothecary book. Some of the proportions, maybe a little bit off. Like my candle there is pretty much bigger than a stack of 5 books or 4 books, but it's cute. I thought it looked well and it turned out well. And I have a lot of books in there. I have, I think, space for 42. I don't know if I'll read that many, but I'll come pretty close and I'll write the titles in, and I'll use the color system that I had for the genres back in my key, and that's how I'll color them in this year. Instead of just coloring them in to look pretty, I'll actually color them in with a purpose. And on my next page, I have my Goodreads 24 and 24 challenge. I've been doing this since 2020, and I like to do it based on the year. So each year I read that amount of books, but I usually always go over. So I've just decided this year that'll be my Goodreads goal only. And I'm going to do the actual book pictures, the covers, instead of just the little boxes. I also did my reading tracker a little bit different this year. I normally just do 1 page and it's like a year in pixels. But this year I made it a little bit bigger because I wanted it to cover a double spread and I wanted the color to really show up and look pretty. Again, I don't know if I'll do it based on genre because I want the colors to be different. Now here's my actual genre tracker, and I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to cut it off and write the genre in the side and then do it like a little bar graph that grows outward. I don't know if that's exactly how I'm going to do it, but I think it is because I just don't read that many different genres within a month. 4 at the most. Most of my books, as you know, if you followed me last year, are horror. So I just don't do a lot of different genres. I'm going to try and do better with that this year. Here's my series tracker on the next page. These are either series that I want to finish or that I had in my book last year and did not get finished. So I just carried them over into this year's journal. And some of them may be at the end. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple more in each one, or at least I've got the total. Then I have my TBR on the next page. This is also carried over from last year with a couple new ones. And this isn't a set TBR. I don't say I have to go by this TBR. I just come to it for recommendations. If I don't know what I'm going to read next, I'll come look, and then if I read it, I'll check it off over there to the side. What doesn't get done this year, I'll carry over into next year's TBR. Again, just for suggestions. My next page, which is new this year, is I decided to do a double page spread just for my favorite quotes. I normally put those on the book spread, but this year I wanted a page for quotes from every book, or at least the ones that I really, really liked, all together in one place. I'm also doing word gems again, where I put down words that are either unfamiliar to me or that I really love, and I put the definition and I put them on that page, so I've not really got it set up complete yet. My next page is book bingo. I did that last year as well, and I almost covered the whole board. This year I wish I'd have done it as a Dutch door, or maybe I'll do it as a tip-in. I've got it numbered, so I want to be able to have a page on there that I tell what book goes with each square. So if I read B1, a tome, I want to know what book that I used for a tome. Or if I read O23, I want to know what book that I read as the novella. Last year I didn't do that. I also want a place to put down dates so that when I get horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and blackout bingo, I can put down the date that I got those on. And I always leave my middle space as a freebie. I could put something else in there, but I just always do it that way, and then that way you've at least got a chance. I did better than I thought last year, though. My next page is Read the Rainbow. Last year I did Paint by Books, but it's the same thing, basically. I just did it as a rainbow this year, and I did the whole Roy G. Biv thing, and then I added black and white. So I've got red, orange, yellow, green. You can see mine's a little different. Blue, indigo, and violet. And then I added a space for black and white. And as I read a book that's got a cover that matches that color, I'll place a picture of the book down below the cover. And then I always add black and white because you always have those. I also did a different one this year. I did Read Around the World. So as I read a book that is either set in another country or is by an author from another country, I'll color that in. Now, again, this is organic. I'm not going to go through and try and read something specific for everyone unless I get down to where there's only like 1 or 2 left. But I do it organically just to see where I'm at. I don't necessarily try. Same way with the bingo. I'm not necessarily trying to fill in the whole board. I just read organically and we see how it goes. But I thought this would be a fun one that I hadn't done before. Next is my A to Z challenge. The alphabet challenge is always one of my favorites. You try and read a book that the title starts with each letter. I had a lot of the same ones last year. Like I had a lot of C's and S's, so I didn't get anywhere close to filling that in, and I probably won't this year. But again, if I get like where I'm 1 or 2 off, I'll try and search something out, and I'll just write the titles in. I also did a book bracket again this year so that I can decide which book was my favorite book of the year. I don't really like where this is in the setup, but I already had it kind of fleshed out in pencil, and I didn't want to have to erase it or cover it over and then redraw it somewhere else. So again, it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020. I should have put it at the end. This is where things get weird. I had this double page here that I didn't know what to do with. I thought I had it set out specifically for something, but I couldn't remember what. So I decided, okay, I'll put in the Pop Sugar Book Challenge here. I was going to put it in the back as a tip in, but then I thought, well, I'll just put it up front. But it looks kind of ugly in there. Again, though, I just tried to make it as cute as I could. It's a tip in. The prompts are all on one side, and the other side has a space for me to write the books. I'll probably nowhere come close to completing that challenge, but again, I just wanted to see where I ended up at the end. It's the first year I've tried this one. The next page, I have my year in review, and that's just all the different things that I'll combine from all the monthly reviews to put it all on one page at the end. Then I had 1 page left, so I couldn't remember what I wanted to put on it. I remember later, though. But I did the buzzword challenge this year. So you have a buzzword that's going to be in the title of a book for each month, and I'll write in the book if I complete that. Then I have my title page. I'm doing it by chapters this year, but the first chapter of one obviously is January. And I have a calendar on there where I'm going to use a dot marker to color in how long it takes me to read each book. So each book will have a different color, again, not by genre, but just so that I can tell how long it takes me to read each book, and I'll just color in or dot over the number as I read each book. And I'm explaining, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you read 4 days, you color in 1 through 4. I also added washi this year. I think on each cover page for each month, I'm going to add a little piece of washi just so maybe when it's put together, you can kind of see that on the outside. I thought that would be cute. And then same as last year, each book will get a double page spread where it'll have the book cover and all the information and my thoughts on the book. Then at the end, I'll have a month in review where I'll put it on the side, and then the next page will be the cover page for the next month. I actually started this year's book at the end. I went in and I did my pen test. I got a couple new pens, some darker colors that I hadn't really had before that I thought would come in handy. And then I did the 100 books to read in a lifetime, and this is a Goodreads challenge. Again, organically, I've already read about half of them, but I put it in here because I thought it would look cool. And it does, but it was a lot of writing, so I'll probably take those pages out And when I have a new journal, well, I'll leave them in this year, and then next year when I have a new journal, I'll put them in next year's book so that I won't have to redo it. And then I actually had left a few pages at the end thinking I might do some other challenges, like the pop sugar one that I put in the wrong place. Then when I went to my pocket, I realized, oh look, I had something else in here that I wanted to do, a Read Across America. So I may decide to just put this in somewhere in one of these back pages, even though it's not up front with my setup, and again, just fill it in organically as I go, just to kind of see where I end up at. And as always, if you know it's great and I'm just a couple off, I'll go ahead and try and specifically look up a certain book to do, but for the most part, all these pages are just going to be organic. Except the reading tracker. I'm going to be specific on that one this year. I'm trying to get everyone. So there's another quick flip through of the setup so far. Again, I think it's pretty cute. I really like it. I like the apothecary theme, which won't carry into the book pages, but that's okay. They'll have their own little themes with each book. I try and match up the stickers and everything for the book. So again, that is my reading journal setup for 2024. It's good to get back on here, and I'll show you guys in about a week or so my flip through of my 2023. But as of right now, that's it, and it's great to see you guys. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, and if you've not already, remember, please subscribe. It's free for you and it's fun for me, and it lets me keep making these videos for you guys. And if you've not already, you know what? Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate that, and it really helps me out. Thanks, guys. Bye.